I'm 34 and I don't have a pension. In fact, 98% of my entire net worth is in something that people fundamentally don't understand. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I went all in on crypto the way I did, and the final one might just be the reason you do the same as me. Conventional wisdom and advice always tells you to diversify and get a pension and play it safe. But in my mind, those systems are failing. So by the end of this video, I want to show you why. Crypto isn't just a wild bet that I'm making here. It's actually the most rational decision I could have possibly made. So instead of paying in to the traditional system, I'm actually using my crypto portfolio as the foundation of my long-term wealth. Because traditional pensions end up making you lock up your money for decades, and you don't actually get that good of returns. You can get, 6, 7, 8% in the S&P 500. It's just not that compelling, especially when you compare it to the crypto world. And I've participated in that crypto world for almost a decade now, and I've seen the returns, and I see no reason why they won't stop. So the thing is, most people are thinking that these traditional systems are safe, but the thing that we're not understanding is that these traditional systems are already starting to fail. So even if you pay in to your pension faithfully over a long period of time, the payout you get at the end might not even cover your living expenses. And that's not a future I wanted to kind of give up to the government and rely on the government for. So I took things into my own hands. So considering I'm not comfortable relying on the government for my future, I developed something called the AIM test. We're going to run the AIM test through the pension lens, and then also through the crypto lens, and you'll see why I've come out on the crypto side. So the A in AIM is access. I wanted the ability to be able to access my funds whenever I want to. When you run access through pensions, typically you have to wait until you're 55 or 65 to even access any of the money that you've been saving for. And by that time, you're now old, and you can't really use the money to the fullest like you could when you were young. But when you look at crypto through the access lens, it's immediately accessible. I can access the exchange and get my money off the exchange and spend it and put it anywhere else I want to put it. The I in AIM is independent. When I'm looking at money I want to be involved in, I want to make sure that I can act independently. Do I get to choose and decide where my money goes or how it's invested? Let's look at it through the pension lens first. For the most part, pensions might have a couple of products that you can choose from, but these are typically baskets of investments that you can make, and they're in control of it, they're managing it. In the crypto side of things, I can determine where I put my money. I have complete autonomy and independence as to where my money goes. So I can go as granular or as broad as I would like to, and I can do that in crypto. And the M in AIM is mobility. And this determines, how often can I change my mind about where I want my money to be? If you look at it again through the pension lens, you can't really. You're locked into your product, and that's the product that you have until the retirement or the pension age comes about. In the crypto world, I am able to make a decision, an informed decision about where my assets go or my money goes, and I can change my mind. And I really wanted the ability to do that. So I ran crypto and a pension through my AIM test, and crypto came out on top by far. Now, of course, in crypto, there is a lot of volatility, but in fact, we're going to cover this at the end of the video. The volatility is the reason why this is so appealing. Do you want an asset, or do you want to be invested in a pension that goes sideways? The answer is no to that. You want the most upside possible, and the volatility itself isn't a negative. It is the reason why we can actually make a load of money this way. So next, it was more about the freedom to invest. When you invest in the traditional systems, and especially a pension, you're kind of locked away for multiple years. And what this does is it puts you on the sidelines when opportunities come up. And you will know, if you look back in 2017 in crypto, that was a big moment for the adoption of crypto, and people made tons of money that way. I was right there as well. You look at 2023, the whole AI wave has come about and it's still progressing. But if you remove your cash flow, because that cash flow is going into contributing into a pension, you're actually missing out on all of the opportunities that come about. And opportunities are not scarce resources. They are there, they're abundant, they're there for everyone. But if you don't have the cash, because that cash is too busy going into a pension, you don't have the opportunity to jump on these big generational wealth changes. So with the way I approach crypto, I can invest in property, I can invest in businesses, even myself. And it's the ability to be able to do that, to be able to take advantage of opportunities that come my way, whether that's a mentor in the business space and he's opened up a spot to work with him, or whether that's a new crypto opportunity. I have the flexibility and the cash reserves to be able to invest in whatever way I want, according to the returns that I want to see. So if I want to see financial returns immediately, I might invest in one certain asset or one crypto. If I want to invest in myself to get returns financially in the long term by expanded knowledge or capability to be able to do certain things that generate more money, I can decide to do that. With a pension, I'm unable to do any of those things. I'm locked, and I'm watching from the sidelines as all of these opportunities go by. So this way, I'm not waiting 30 plus years for someone to hand me money. I'm taking control of that. I'm assuming the freedom myself to invest in myself and grow my potential and my earning capacity. It's about having the capital ready to invest in asymmetrical opportunities versus watching it all go by. My next reason is simply because the financial system as we see it right now is failing and it's doing a miserable job. And so betting my future on something that I view as being broken, you'll agree, isn't a very smart thing to do. So crypto gives me a way, an avenue to step outside of a system that doesn't have the best interests of its participants at heart. At least with crypto, I know where my intentions are. My intentions are to benefit myself and my family to the highest degree. I can't say the same about the financial institutions, and I can't say the same about the governments. And when you see governments printing money like it's nobody's business, the money in our pockets is always devaluing. And so inflation keeps rising, and all of the yields that we can generate from our pensions is being eaten up by that inflation. So by the end of it, we get a payout that basically means nothing to us, because the banks and the financial institutions are more concerned about propping themselves up and looking good to shareholders than they are concerned about your well-being and your desires and your potential in life. So when you're contributing to a pension, in my view, you're doing the opposite of playing it safe. In fact, being in a pension, to me, is the riskier move. So with the decline of the financial system and all the governments, it seems, around the world, it made me ask myself a question. And that is, what is good money?